Senadina is my favorite Part 2 character so far. To me, she's pretty adorable. And she's the most interesting person lore-wise to me. I'm a simple man, and that's all I really need. So when I saw her at the end of the Part 2 prologue, yeah! Senadina, let's go! I got a little excited. She said some really interesting stuff, and I want to review it, as well as go over the little information we have about Mara so far, and theorize about how it got into the state it is in. Let's begin. She begins by calling herself the Cocoon of Unwoven, which is a bit of a confusing title to go by, but this could also be translated into incomplete cocoon. She titles herself that because she tried and failed to have the cocoon embrace her about 1 billion years ago, meaning she failed to become a goddess like Kiana. Despite this, she still has pink eyes, which is a little confusing. Pink eyes usually mean divinity in this series. I don't think we have enough information though, but let's just keep that in mind for future chapters. She then tells us that her planet got destroyed and time stopped until Kiana's embrace completed, and then everything started moving again. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Why would Kiana's embrace of the finality have anything to do with Mars? You guys can let me know if I am missing anything in the comment section down below. Before we continue dissecting this conversation, let's talk a little bit about Mars. Mars is, as far as we know, the first planet to ever get attacked by the Honkai. The Cocoon of Finality came to Mars 1 billion years ago and left the planet completely desolate, just like Senadina says here. In fact, there has also been a few pieces of dialogue that briefly talk about Mars in both chapter 35 and 39. There was a segment in chapter 35 where Kevin got the wonderful privilege of viewing the Honkai's dreams, and in them he saw a planet with crimson sand that filled the sky. Finality had stalled there. The sparse bubble universes are the final echoes of civilization. In chapter 39, there is a scene where Vita talks with Ugly Mara, and she says that when it comes to the third and fourth planet, Saw only dares to tread its borders carefully. Earth makes sense because she was terrified of the Cocoon of Finality, but Mars? Why? Both of these statements are very important for future discussions, so keep these in mind. Getting back to Senadina, she says she can contact Kiana through this dream of hers because of a peculiar accident in the Anchor in the Ring's legacy. The anchor she's talking about is the one that was shown in the Part 2 trailer many times, I'm assuming. I believe its name is the Doomsday Anchor. The ring is a bit less obvious. That could be many things, and I guess it just remains a mystery for now. She refers to Mars as Luoxane. Every person from their own planet calls their own planet something different than we Earthlings do. Basically, it's the same thing as Venusans calling Venus Purusha. She then spits out a bunch of random names that I won't even try to pronounce because I would butcher all of them. She calls them the 12 constellations and says that she hopes the bubble universes being sheltered by these 12 constellations would build a great future. The next line is her talking about the Sea of Quanta's rise and fall, and these statements kind of go hand in hand. Let's go back to this statement in chapter 35. The sparse bubble universes are the final echoes of civilization. To paraphrase, there is nothing on the actual planet. Honkai wiped it out, but the bubble universes are the only thing keeping Mars alive. Bubble universes are kept alive by the Sea of Quanta, so the Sea of Quanta is pretty much Mars's lifeline here. So the rise and fall of the Sea of Quanta may not be important to us, but it is a matter of life and death to them. We can easily determine the rise as being when the Honkai destroyed everything 1 billion years ago. That was when the bubble universes were the only thing left, and they began relying on the bubble universes and the Sea of Quanta. The fall, however, I can't see any conclusion you could make that doesn't include Saw as at least a contributing factor to its downfall. At first, I thought she was the main factor because I was like, oh, she destroys bubble universes, Mars relies on them, she destroyed them, easy, right? No, because Saw is scared of Mars for some currently unknown reason. I was stuck for a while until I was reminded of the fact that Saw meditated for years and years and sucked up most of the Sea of Quanta's energy. So basically, it doesn't matter if she was on Mars or not, she already did damage. Because you think that meditation would weaken the Mars bubble universes, right? The only reason I say Saw is not the main factor is that Saw was born 750 million years after Mars got attacked. Something else definitely happened in that massive time gap that we have no idea about yet. Now let's talk about the 12 constellations. These are supposed to be caretakers of certain bubble universes. There are 12 names, so my theory is that there are only 12 bubble universes left, and the rest broke out of either weakness or something else. This could be wrong, but considering that a godlike being is seeking help from another god after 1 billion years of probably fighting this with all the Martians herself, I would say the situation is that drastic. We know we are going to be going to a Mars bubble universe in the first arc of part 2, so it is possible we could be meeting one of these characters in the future, and maybe all of them as we venture deeper and deeper into part 2. If you think about it, Saw's avoidance of Mars is really weird and has some disturbing implications. Let's say she wasn't scared of Mars. Mars is easy pickings for Saw. They rely solely on bubble universes to survive. She destroys them. Also, to remind you, for 250 million years, she already has been damaging Mars by absorbing the energy from the Sea of Quanta, which must have weakened the bubble universes. The actual planet is completely gone. If she could, she would have had free roam and she wouldn't even have to hide. This is easy mode. Yet she's scared of it and only treads its borders carefully. The cocoon of finality left 1 billion years ago, so it's not Honkai. It's something else. She has no doubt tried to go there when she was born. It's such an easy target for her. She must have tried it at some point. But there is something so terrifying, so evil on Mars that even a deity who has godlike powers is scared to place 1 foot on Mars's ground. And so, the question remains, what the hell is on this planet that has got Saw so freaked out, that has gotten Senadina asking for help after 1 billion years? Remains to be seen.